Hi, Nathaniel Gavronsky here, and I'm in the great state of Iowa. This is a state that's very proud of the hard workers and the dedicated workers that we have for our values and for the things that we believe in. I want to let everyone know that the people of Iowa are greatly appreciative of some of the elected officials that we have running and that are running for re-election and are running for a higher office. For example, Joel Fry, Amy Sinclair, Marionette Miller Meeks, David Young, Joni Ernst, Donald J. Trump, Randy Feenstra, and I also don't want to forget to announce Ashley Hinson. I don't have a shirt or a sign for her, but if you want one, I know I can help you get one. I can get you all of these signs as well as any other member running for State House or any of the congressional seats, and I've been promised that I can get you a Trump-Pence sign if you want. All you need to do is let me know. I want to let everyone know that Iowa is very supportive of our great elected officials and the people who are seeking our public offices. We take this stuff very seriously, and we work very hard for people that we believe in and that we know that believe in us, the ones who trust in us for them to be successful, because for us to be successful, it means they were successful. If they were successful, it means that we were successful. It's how elections work. That's how elected office holders function. That is their primary job. If they're not able to serve the people of their constituencies and the places they represent, then they need to be replaced. Luckily for Iowa, we have some of the greatest possible people running to represent you, not only in Washington, D.C., but in the State House here in Des Moines. That being said, we need to trust our people. We need to back our own people. And I know a lot of these candidates behind me are really dedicated to making sure that the people that they are running to represent are treated with respect and dignity and are always shown with the utmost respect with all of their concerns, their needs, and their values. I want to make sure that everyone in Iowa recognizes this, that we are fully in support of our elected officials and the ones who are seeking higher office. We have a deep trust in the people we want to represent us, and that we want to back them. We need to back our local State House candidates, and we need to back our federal office seekers. I know there's a lot of things going on right now, but I want to make sure that everyone in Iowa knows that these people have our backs. These people behind me, these names, Donald Trump, Joni Ernst, David Young, Marionette Miller Meeks, Amy Sinclair, Joel Fry, Randy Feenstra, and Ashley Hinson are 100% behind and back each and every single one of us. There should never be a doubt that any of these people have other agendas. They're always going to back us. They're always going to support us. Brad Zahn, Zach Nunn, all these guys. I can't list them all, but we have some of the most tremendous, dedicated public servants ever in Iowa. I know people in Iowa are a little bit spoiled with the amount of attention we get every 4 years, with being able to rub elbows with everyone who wants a higher office. We take for granted that what we get with some of these people, no one else gets, not during the presidential election years, but not ever. I mean, David Young is the hardest working man who's ever ran or ever been in Congress, period, bar none. That's it. There is no better choice. David Young is by far the best choice anyone in this country could have to represent them in Congress. Joni Ernst has been a dedicated public servant for most of her adult life. She served in the military, and here's what's important about that, is that in Iowa, nationwide, the people who serve in the military is about 1%. In Iowa, it's nearly 8%. We need to have someone who knows and is dedicated to those people specifically, who knows what those people are going through. I can't tell you how many times people have reached out to me, talking to me about how Joni Ernst has helped them tremendously. And they were either currently in the armed forces or were recently out, and they're in the veteran or done with the VA. Joni Ernst has been there for each and every single one of them. And I have never had a complaint about someone who wanted the help from Joni Ernst and couldn't get it. Joni Ernst cares. When her opponents were bankrupting other people, Joni Ernst was a public servant and serving this country. When her opponent was trying to kick out ma and pa's for her own personal financial gain, Joni Ernst was going to the mat for you and everyone she wants to represent. That's Joni Ernst. Marionette Miller Meeks, she was also a vet and is a doctor. Here's a couple of things we need to know. We had the biggest complaint about we're not getting a proper medical care, or that our VAs, people aren't getting proper medical care, and that our healthcare system is broken. Maybe we should get some more grassroots doctors that are more in tune with what people are going on with in rural areas, to maybe make laws and write laws and support laws that will help these people. That's the reason why Miller Meeks is the best possible choice for Iowa's 2nd District. Amy St. Clair and Joel Fry. And when it comes to the State House, I researched very, very deep and far and wide on where I wanted to move to around Iowa to get the best possible representation. I researched all 50 Senate seats and I researched all 100 House seats. I checked Republican and Democrat because I know most people in Iowa don't really care about the politician side, Republican and Democrat. They just want good representation. That's what matters to them. And when it came down to in every single thing that I look for, when it comes to dedication, to listening, to participating, to being a part, to being a born leader, to wanting to be the best possible representative for their people, there is no one better than Amy St. Clair. In fact, out of everyone on behind me and running period, the only person I would ever possibly vote over David Young would be Amy St. Clair, but she has no desire to be anything more than your local state senator. She's a local politician who wants to be a local policymaker for local people. She cares very deeply about this part of Iowa, and for that reason, I had my whole family move here because I care about good representation. Joel Fry is someone who has a background that I really admire, and someone who I work with to get better law and better policies for people that are dealing with some of the most horrific and problematic medical conditions, mental health problems, access to health care, access to medical care, access to mental health, medications. Joel Fry has been there. Joel Fry is actually one of the most dedicated public servants when it comes to people who need specialized care, either mental health or physical health, pediatric care. Joel Fry is an expert. In fact, Republican or Democrat, bar none, doesn't matter. They go to him for advice because, face it, not people don't want to write laws that hurt people. Joel Fry is one of the best members of the House, and I will always support him. When it comes to Donald J. Trump, he as a man, he as a person, as the President of the United States, has been the most successful, most pro-American president I think we've had in probably the last 100 and some years. I've studied the presidents in pretty great detail, and as far as American First goes, this isn't a Republican or Democrat issue. This is the guy who ran for office not because he wanted the title. He doesn't even cash his paychecks for himself. He gives it away. He's dedicated to the American people. He doesn't want to go to war. In fact, he's trying to pull everyone out of wars. So whenever you hear that Donald Trump is a warmonger, you can tell that person, I am very sorry, sir, I respect your opinion, but we're going to agree to disagree because Donald Trump does not want war. He's trying to pull ourselves out of war. But when it comes down to it, when our national security is an absolute risk, when the lives of everyday people are at risk, Donald Trump is going to be the backbone. He's going to prevent people from coming after us. Donald Trump is a champion for Americans, not the special interests, not Europe, not Asia, not South America. He's a president of the United States of America, not the United States of the world. He represents us. He cares about us. Every activity, everything he's done has been to better serve us. And when someone gets mistreated or attacked for just existing, Donald Trump has backed them. When it comes down to Randy Feenstra, he's got an economics background. He has taught economics, and I'm talking about that Keynesian nonsense. I'm talking real practical economics, the stuff that actually works. When you have people who are actually getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning, going to bed every night at 11:30, drop dead tired, exhausted. We want someone who's going to make an economic system that for their hard work and dedication is going to pay off. They're going to be able to gain traction. They're going to get ahead. The only way we're going to do this is by having solid economic expertise in Congress, and Randy Feenstra is that guy. When it comes to his work in the State House, he was a phenomenal caseworker. He was phenomenal at representing his people, and that matters a lot in Congress because 90% of what a person in Congress or the Senate does is casework. And it comes down to helping people deal with Social Security, dealing with the VA, dealing with the prison system, dealing with any type of federal casework. Because that's what these people behind me on the federal level, that's what they do. People on the state level, that they're working for individual people every single day. Sessions in, sessions out. Doesn't matter. They're on the phones every day working for people in Iowa. I was on the phone with one of them today, and that's all she was doing was trying to help individual people in Iowa. And they're not getting additional pay right now. They're out of session, but that's her job. She cares about you people. All of them care about all of you. That's the reason why we need to back them financially. We need to be vocal on Facebook, Twitter, Parler, Instagram, we need to support all of them. Ashley Henson, she is someone who had a comfortable job. She had a job that she showed up, read a teleprompter, you know, did her script, read the copies, and went home. She didn't have to worry about anything else. She had life set, but she cared that much about people. Just like Donald Trump, she gave up a comfortable lifestyle and a comfy job to work harder. She gave up a comfortable job to not have job security because elections happen every 2 years. And she wants to make sure that she and her constituents have the best possible representation within the State House and in the federal government. That's why she's running. When you knock on your congresswoman's door, you need an answer. You don't need to have someone answer the door you've never met and then knock on the door a month again, have someone else you've never met knock on the door a month later and have someone you've never met. You want people to return your phone calls. Like, you want an answer. Wouldn't that be nice to knock on your representative of Congress's door and get an answer? That's Ashley Henson. That's what you're gonna get with Ashley Henson. That's what you're gonna get with Randy Feenstra. That's what you got with David Young. That's what you're gonna get with Miller Meeks. That's what you get with Amy Sinclair and Joel Fry. And with Donald Trump, he is the most accessible president we have ever had, bar none, in history. Not since the days when you could walk into the White House and ask to be on the president's schedule. Has there been a president that has been this accessible to every single person on the planet, bar none? Name one. Obama was the most secretive president we've ever had. George W. Bush, I don't know where he was at most of the time mentally. I don't even know who was running the country, to be completely honest with you. No shame on George W. Bush. I love the family. But, you know, when it comes time to, you know, representing the people of America and pushing for our domestic agenda and pushing for the greater economic experience of Americans, I didn't see it. When it came to Bill Clinton, oh my gosh. I mean, you know, he's the one that actually set the stage for the worst economic collapse in history. I mean, it was way worse than what the Depression was. We just didn't call it that. But we went through that because of laws and things that implemented by Bill Clinton, George. Anyway, George 41 was okay, most of the time. But we keep getting into wars we didn't need to be in. Donald Trump was pulling us out. He didn't go to wars where Hillary wanted us to go into. He kept us safe. And for people of Iowa, when over 7%, nearly 8% of our entire population serves in the military, don't you want to make sure that whoever's in charge of that chair, who has put their finger on that red button, is going to have your children, your parents, your neighbors' lives in his mind? When John Bolton was pushing to go conquer this world, blow up this country, nuke this place, it was Donald J. Trump who said, no, I am not going to do this. I'm not going to escalate. No other president has done that, not ever. Maybe Kennedy. Maybe Kennedy. We'll see. We don't know anything happened in Cuban Missile Crisis. But I'm being honest with you. At least since then, no one has pulled back from escalating a crisis since Donald J. Trump. He saved lives that we don't even know would have been lost. Because he was the mindset to realize that it's not just a policy, it's not just a speech, it's people's lives at stake. And that's why I support Donald J. Trump. That's why I support Ashley Henson, Randy Feenstra, Joni Ernst, David Young, Miller Meek, Amy Sinclair, Joel Fry. I know there's a lot of people in Iowa right now that are really upset and feel like they're really disenfranchised and that people aren't listening to them. I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. We got to deal with that. We will. We will definitely be there. We're dealing with it right now. But the most important thing we need to worry about right now is keeping America great. And that's why I want you to support the people behind me, Ashley Henson, Randy Feenstra, because it's too much at stake. There's too much at risk to not support them. Just because we feel like other people aren't paying attention to us or ignoring us or making us feel like we don't deserve to be here. These people behind us, they care. They stand with you, they stand for you, and they don't stand in front of you, they stand with you. They're one of us, each and every single one of them. They care about you. They want to see you succeed. It's not about the money, it's not about the fancy title, not this crew. It ever has been. I mean, David Young doesn't have to run again. I mean, he could have joined some lobbyist firm by now, making way more you could make as a congressman. Joni Ernst, I mean, for people who want to say, you know, women vote and all these other activities are trying to go after Joni Ernst has more in common with people than you could ever possibly imagine, and she's not going to back down, not against anyone to support people who she knows is suffering. Joni Ernst understands, and she isn't going to back down. She never has. I keep hearing about how Joni Ernst took all this dark money, Her opponent last time ran for a campaign had to back out because their campaign manager lied and cheated. Do you think that wasn't somewhat from the top? I mean, what do you expect? Joni Ernst is a dedicated public servant. Dedicated public servant, bar none. There is no one who's in it for the money or for the fancy title of the Republican side. Joni Ernst is in it because she cares about everyone in Iowa. She wants to see people in Iowa succeed. Please, if you can't vote in November, I want you to request an absentee ballot form. It's going to be the thing. Republicans need to get behind it when we can and vote. We need to make sure that the information is written out correctly. We make sure our votes are counted. If you can vote in November in person, please do so. If you need to shuttle people around, let's work together. Let's find a way we can get everyone who wants to vote to the voting booth in November 2020, because this is one election we can't sit out. I'm Nathaniel Gavronsky from Wayne County, Iowa, asking you for your support for all of these great, wonderful people. Stay healthy, stay wealthy, stay wise, and as always, stay classy, Iowa.